From the Middle is a proud member of the Odd Pods Media Network.
Oh, for the love. Sorry, just clearing my Mountain Dew hole.
I got my phone hole cleaned today.
That's where you keep it? You're so cerebral and you're so developed and evolved.
From the Middle after dark over here.
B8. B8.
Helen, what did he say?
I-27.
I pooped.
I-27.
What did he say?
Oh, 69. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, is episode number 69 of From the Middle. I am one of your co-hosts, Corey Hubble, along with my brother Dylan and our dear friend Kendall. You just got a glimpse of the retirement community Monday night bingo game. And for all you immature bingo players out there, you will understand the 069 joke. 69 episodes. I can't believe we are that far into this crazy thing. If you are unfamiliar with us and are just meeting us for the first time, we are three middle-class guys in the middle of America, in the middle chapters of our lives with a point of view that is somewhere in the middle. We're a comedy and culture podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything. We occasionally have guests from all different walks of life. And sometimes it's just the three of us and we're just catching up on life and all that brings. How are you guys doing this glorious evening?
I'm excited.
Oh, I'm okay. Hey, Dylan.
Yes, sir.
How did you feel about that intro?
Oh, I'm excited. And we're going to rock down to Electric Avenue and baby, then we'll get it started.
What's that?
We'll take it higher. I don't know.
No, it's staying.
We're going to take it higher. We're going to rock down to Electric Avenue and then we'll take it higher.
And then okay.
Yeah.
When do we take it higher? Before or after we rock down to Electric Avenue?
After we rock down to Electric Avenue.
We're taking it higher?
I'm going to take it higher, boys.
Higher is where we're taking it?
Taking it higher. All the way.
How just how high we talking?
I don't know. I feel good about it, though. 69 episodes. Can you believe that? Here we are. Almost 70. Which is really almost 100, if you think about it.
True. It's true. It's true.
Good times.
And 71. It's almost 71.
We're closer to 100 than not starting. So,
math is fun.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it. How you guys feeling?
Oh, good. Tired. Happens. Being tired.
Yeah.
Stuff.
That's that middle part of life thing.
You know, and I don't want to complain much because I know that it's a weak complaint considering that there are people who do this every day and then some. But we've been doing the at-home schooling thing, the virtual schooling thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
And keep in mind that like I have my oldest kid is in kindergarten, right? So that's as deep as it gets with our schooling. The other two are in preschool, and all three of them are doing virtual stuff. And they go back to school in a hybrid situation in 2 weeks. And man, it just watching so many kid videos and then me like having to be like energetic and so that like our kids will think that learning's fun. Which because right now, like we can still they're small enough that we can still live that lie. and
Yeah.
and then the virtual meets with the teachers and stuff are like my little like 15 to 30 minute vacation times, because that's when they have to talk to them like that, while I'm just playing Mario Kart on my phone or buying things on Amazon.
Mhm.
And then when I hear the kindergartner just log off the call because it's over, it's like game time for me again, and I just have to take a deep breath and dive in. And so this virtual schooling thing is it's not what I was cut out to do. And there are people out there who are very good at speaking to young children in that weird kind of, okay, boys and girls, now what kind of voice
Yeah.
for hours on end every day. They do that, go home, sometimes have their own kids who they do that with, and then they go to bed and they wake up in the morning and they do it again. And I can't do that. Not for that long. And I don't do that. And yet I find myself exhausted on a daily basis because I'm learning kindergarten.
Your face when you were looking past your microphone when you said so many kid videos. For those that watch us on YouTube, you have to go back and watch his face when he says that line. That was, man, he wore the whole experience.
I have a rule that like so much of it is just audio for me that like if my kids are watching cartoons and stuff these days outside of schooling stuff, like we're rotating in and out of my office. Like there's 3 of them, and so they kind of take turns coming in doing stuff with me, and I let them watch TV if they're not in my office. It keeps them quiet because sometimes we're trying to record videos and things to send to their teachers, and so like the one rule is that during the day when I come out of the office, because I have a break, and I go into the family room and sit down, if there's children's programming on the TV, that's fine. You're going to mute it so I don't have to hear it. So that's that's a rule in our house right now.
Well, God bless you for doing that. And I imagine, as you said, you have a newfound appreciation for the people who do this every day.
Right. And just to be clear, I know that I'm not doing the lesson planning. I know that I'm not like grading anything.
You're not their teacher.
I know that I'm not doing the administrative stuff. I get it. As a matter of fact, the way to interpret that is I can't do a fraction of what these teachers do. That is how you should interpret that. Anywho.
Out of curiosity, is there a certain program theme song or recurring song that's found its way into grinding your gears the most?
There's like 3 of them a week.
Oh, so just the 3 then?
They change them. No, they're like 3 of them per week.
Oh,
like
okay.
right, like they have new ones that they're working on now, and then on Friday they're gone, and on Monday there's new ones.
All new ones. Okay.
All new ones, and it's every day. They repeat these things every day. You know, there's the gathering song.
You want to? Can we hear that one?
We are gathering. We are gathering. Yes, we are.
No.
Yes, we are. Everyone is here now, finding their own place now. We are here. We are here.
Guess what our listeners are going to get to enjoy before every episode from here on out? The gathering song.
No. I quit.
He's in the fetal position in the corner, folks. Somebody stop him.
69 is as far as I go.
I'd like to quote our dear friends over at Grief Burrito Podcast. From the middle, for our new listeners, from the middle, quote, the most wholesome show on the internet.
Until now.
That lasted until we had Grief Burrito on the podcast.
Yeah, that all out the window. It's great. That's good. Corey, what's up with you?
We didn't give updates in our last episode because we had 3 lovely physicians, not physicians,
no,
assistants,
Associates.
associates. You'd think I would have learned I had the S. I had the apostrophe S. I didn't mean to. Sorry.
PAs, not P's, eh?
On the podcast. So we didn't go through updates. So there's a couple things I wanted to catch you guys up on. One, Sherry and I celebrated our golden anniversary on the 16th. 16 years on the 16th. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess that's a big deal.
Nice.
Not anniversaries, the golden one. I mean.
I guess apparently it's a big deal.
So we went to her favorite restaurant in Columbus, Cooper's Hawk, which is a lovely bar restaurant. And so that was cool.
Nice.
I love you, Sherry. Thanks for letting me do this silly podcast. Got to unveil something that I've been working on for 7 months. You guys know I do logo designs, and one of my favorite things to do is athletic branding for like mascots and spirit branding. And so for 7 months, I've been working on Dylan and I and Sherry's alma mater, the Ada Bulldogs, and got to unveil that a couple weeks ago and then go to the football game. So it was a wonderful day of like finally getting to show the students and the community the new Bulldog, and then visit teachers and friends and go to the football game. And they had it on the helmets already for the football game tonight.
Yeah.
And then the next week, they canceled their season because they didn't have enough players for a full team. But anyway, it was a really cool time going back to our hometown and celebrating that. Dylan, did you want to say something there?
Well, I was just going to say, for the listeners like me, because I feel like I would relate to this, for the listeners that might be new or curious critters, what's your social handle so that they can go see the new logo?
Oh, sure. Thank you. It's at Hubble Arts, HUBBELLARTS, at Hubble Arts, and you can see some of the photos from the big unveiling. That was a lot of fun. And we're already, so for those of you that don't know, Ada, our hometown, is home of the Wilson Football Factory, the only place that makes the Wilson footballs for the NFL. And so we're already talking about getting a limited run of footballs that feature the new Bulldog design that I worked on, maybe signing a few, doing a raffle, and benefiting the school and all kinds of fun things. So so that was fun. And then because I've been keeping you guys apprised on our first year with a swimming pool.
Yeah.
You know, I was talking to some of my friends in Texas as well as some friends on the West Coast, and they were telling me how warm it still is and lovely, and that they're still swimming and enjoying their pools. And it's been 50-degree nights for like 6 weeks here. So our pool is already cold. And, you know, you have to close pools for the season.
Right.
I guess. So Sherry calls the pool company, and they send you a whole kit of all the chemicals you need to dump in before you put that winter cover on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the lady goes, yeah, just siphon the water out to below the skimmer box. So let's call that 8 to 10 inches. And then just dump all your winter chemicals in there. Unhook your pump and filter, cover it up, you're good to go. So, as I've shared in an earlier episode, there's construction going on behind our house. So I start siphoning water out into the drainage ditch behind our house by the construction site. And after the first day, I noticed that they put a kink in my hose and covered it with a brick to stop the water flow, because apparently they didn't like my water going in their drainage ditch for some reason. So the next day I started again and siphoned some more water out. Long story short, it ended up taking like 2.5 days to get water siphoned out through one garden hose to below the skimmer box level. When I pull up the solar cover and see just how messy the pool is, it's kind of grimy on the bottom and there's sticks and leaves. And I'm like, I bet this is supposed to be like spotless before you close it. So I start Googling, and every article is like, do not put the winter chemicals in with a dirty pool, because they're going to end up using all of those chemicals on what's already in there, as opposed to letting it do its work over the winter. The pool has to be like spotless before you close it. But now my water level is below the skimmer box, so I can't clean it, because so now I have to fill the pool
No.
for a day and a half
Oh.
with the hose to get it up to the skimmer box so I can run chemicals through the pump and filter. But now it's like, literally, it looks like green Jello now. Not consistency, just color. And now I'm so afraid that if I try to close it now without getting it back to its normal crystal clear goodness, that it's going to stain the liner, and the tannins in the leaves are going to stain. So I got a guy coming over tomorrow to help me. He doesn't even, he only closes pools. He doesn't clean them. I'm like, dude, just come over, look at what I have, tell me what I got to do. Kendall, this is to your point earlier. Like, sometimes you got to just know when to call the experts. And the learning curve of this pool and learning how to close it properly. I'm so afraid, you guys, that after all the investment of dollars and sweat equity, we're going to like ruin this nice liner and have it all stained. And I just want to close it properly so that when we open it in the spring, we're ready to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're dealing with that.
Cool.
What a pain. There was some kind of like Hank Hill reaction went off in my head when you said that. I don't know. I don't remember which one, but it was there. It played when you said it. But like, man, what a pain. It'll be worth it when it's spring and it's all nice and clean again and you're excited to swim. But like right now, you're just like, I just want it to go away. Just go away for now.
You don't know the wind it took out of my sails to realize that I was going to have to put water back in it just to clean it, to put chemicals back in it, to siphon the water out again, to cover it for the winter and tick that box that I'm done.
Is there no way to get around, like, can you not clean it without the skimmer box? There's no like manual way of going about it?
Yeah, so great question. I got it. This is really funny. I'm glad you asked, because so I was just trying to get the, when it was full, I was just trying to get the water stirred up enough to allow it all to get up to the level of the skimmer box, the stuff that had settled. So you know those big sponges that you use to wash your car? One side is a little coarse and one side is a sponge. I have two of those, and I put one underneath each foot. And I just shimmied around the entire...
That is amazing.
I just shimmied around the entire pool until all I saw was the blue and not the greenish brownish. But
that's how I imagine Cousin Eddie would clean a pool.
It was like 72 degrees, by the way, which is pretty chilly.
Yeah.
So that's what actually churned everything up to make it pretty green. So now I can't even see how dirty the bottom actually is. It's just like,
get a pool, everybody.
It'll be fun.
It's a great idea.
We'll make so many memories, she said. So it's just
you'll learn. It'll be better next year.
That's exactly right. It's the first year. It's the learning curve. But yeah, I'll send you guys a picture of how nasty and green it looks. It's disturbing.
I'm good.
I want to see it.
Oh, so those are my updates.
Dylan, what's going on, buddy?
Look, one huge thing happened, but all I'm going to do is say it, and then we'll talk about it later because we're not there yet, and my enthusiasm is off the charts. But Big Ten football is back, at least for now. And
we'll see.
I don't have to pick another team after all, but guess what? That NCAA tournament still took off, so that's getting played no matter what. And soon we'll start talking about some Big Ten football on one of the upcoming episodes. But I am very excited, and that was heck of an announcement.
Yeah, tell the listeners about our latest Instagram post and what you're doing in case they missed it the first time around.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I have permission to talk about it again on the podcast. So, when we thought that we weren't going to have a Big Ten football season, I basically took the ESPN preseason college football rankings. I made a very nice looking tournament bracket with 32 teams on my computer with graphics and everything. Super nice. I ranked and seeded all the teams in 4 regions. I set up rules for myself, and I've started playing through the bracket with rules. So I'm playing this all out on the final NCAA college football video game, which was NCAA 14 by EA Sports. And I'm going to have a great time doing it. I think I've played 4 or 5 games already. So we're chugging along nicely. And I've already been upset on the road.
Nice.
It's already happened. So it's a legitimate contest. It's not just going to be me blowing everybody out. And I thought about it. I'm going to try to make up some silly awards to announce at the end of the tournament.
Nice.
Like I thought one could be if I encounter a game with really bad weather, I'd have the blame the weather guy award if I lost that one. So I'll try to have some fun awards, and I'll share some Snapchats or some snapshots, along the way of how the 4 different regions are playing out. So yeah, it's been super fun. This was supposed to get me through football season, but I'm going to have actual Big Ten football as well, and I'm very excited. That's one update. But yeah, we got to wait till what, October 24th weekend? Does that sound right?
Yeah, end of October. Yep.
So as maybe that episode for that week will be like, let's talk college football for a little bit, and we'll talk about what had happened up to that point, and then what's about to happen.
And I know she never would, but in case your lovely bride would ever question your video game playing, you can now be like, listen, this is for the podcast. The guys are counting on me.
Yeah, I've already signed up for this. So
all of our loyal followers are waiting with bated breath to see how this tournament.
Do you realize how many people are relying on me to play these games?
Yeah, there's literally dozens of them that are waiting for me to announce what happens along the way. So the other thing that I didn't mention, I took some time off recently, which was great, and work's great too, but also nice to take time off. And as a movie lover, was very excited to get to watch stuff that's probably old to everyone else, but was new to me. And I got to watch through some films. I don't know by release date which is the oldest, but I think Tolkien is. So the movie about J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of Lord of the Rings. I also watched Joker and Midway, and I started the documentary from Peter Jackson, They Shall Not Grow Old, which is a World War I documentary where it kind of starts out with old footage, and then they've revitalized all this footage for the majority of the documentary. So I haven't finished that one yet. But very good so far. So I'm coming off of several new movies, which was very exciting.
I heard Midway was excellent. I'm really curious what you thought about Joker too.
Midway, it's a fun romp through the Pacific, if that's the kind of thing you're into.
You just reviewed it like it was a musical.
I know.
Enjoy this fun ride through the Pacific as your beloved characters go to war.
Yeah. Is that insensitive? Is 60 years, is that enough? Anyways, if you're up for a fun romp through the Pacific, check out Midway. And we're not talking about the original film Midway. This is the remake, I think, from 2019. Look, we talked about it earlier, a couple episodes back, I don't know how many ago. I used to watch Band of Brothers every year, the HBO series, and I did watch it this year. I hadn't for a long time. That to me is like the best World War II content that you can watch from like a show or a movie or anything, in my opinion. So everything else is going to fall short in terms of quality. Midway was good. I'm glad I watched it. I enjoyed it. Wouldn't watch it again, but I did enjoy it. If you like that kind of movie, if you like a good war movie, good action movie, check it out. If you like World War II stuff, check it out. It's very good. You said you were more interested of those 3 that I mentioned, though, Tolkien, Midway, and Joker. Tolkien was my favorite. But Joker would probably be my least favorite. It was clearly like this was I don't even know how to describe it. And I even thought about how I would describe it, and I still didn't come up with anything good. This is clearly like painting a picture of mental illness. This is not just like, oh, crazy jokers out there. Like this is seriously like the origin story dealing with very real mental health issues and social and economic issues. Like, if you feel like the second movie in the Dark Knight trilogy was like social commentary, that's kind of what Joker is on a whole new exaggerated level. But it was dark. It was a very good origin movie. If you're into that kind of thing, I don't particularly love Joker, but it was good. I'm glad I watched it, and not good like, oh yeah, it was good, sit down with the kids. Like, no, it's heavy and dark and meant to be watched just for adults, and it's meant to be a little disturbing. But I don't get some of the, like, people were going to theaters and watching Joker and then we're going out, like doing crazy stuff because it compelled them to. I didn't get that. Like, it still just felt like a movie, but it was definitely dark. So not 100% my speed, but I get why so many people liked it. It was definitely something different if you're used to the Marvel pattern of movies at this point. So have either of you seen Joker?
I've not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corey, do you agree, disagree?
Oh, I loved it.
You loved it?
Yeah. No, for what it is, for all those things you mentioned, right?
It's really more a movie about like a commentary on mental health in like society. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's not a superhero villain pick. Like, this literally could have been about any person in the world that wasn't Joker that was dealing with mental health and a potential result of that issue, and then a society not able to help them.
Yeah.
And so it was certainly dark. If somebody was looking for a change of pace, it was certainly dark and heavy. But
yeah, well, I think so I've not watched it, but like I understand that like already about the movie. Like, that's how it was marketed. That's what everybody's been saying about it, and the trailers would tell you that as well. Like, this is a dark movie that is about the things that would drive a normal person into becoming the Joker.
Yeah.
Well, let's get a little more current here. I think I'm on the leading edge of something. I don't want to brag. I'm going to go ahead and call it. I think this one's going to be a showstopper. A little musical about one of our founding fathers, Alexander Hamilton.
Oh.
Now, I'm not sure if you guys knew this was happening, but Lin-Manuel Miranda has come up with a few ditties for this story.
I love her.
Isn't she great? I think it's going to be a smash, you guys. It's called Hamilton. The family and I sat down and watched it on the Disney Plus, and boy, were we thrilled. That was just a whole lot of fun. Catchy tunes, historically accurate as far as I can tell, and just a good time. I highly recommend it.
If you're up for a romp through history.
If you're up for a romp through the founding of our nation and the Revolutionary War, I highly recommend it. Once again, it's called Hamilton. It's about Alexander Hamilton. Think you're going to love it. No, finally watched it. Wow.
Yeah, much
good.
more gooder once you
I know
get it.
in all seriousness, I know I'm 5 years behind the times, but so good. So good. I really enjoy it. I don't know why Kendall didn't like it.
Yeah. Apparently, Corey directed Dylan and I to a podcast episode of Pete and Sebastian, and Sebastian Maniscalco shared his thoughts on Hamilton, and apparently me and Sebastian have some things in common.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Did they both walk out?
Sebastian and his wife walked out at dinner. They went to see it live even.
Yeah.
And they walked out at intermission.
They're like, yeah, what is all the fuss about?
Yeah, this isn't whatever we're going.
Well, to be fair, they did say he said they have super short attention spans. So
well, that is
You might
Yeah.
be, it's a 2.5 hour, 3 hour long thing. Like I could see somebody not.
Unlike all other musicals.
I made it
Well-
about 10 minutes, so on the recording, right? So
Yeah.
Um,
It's definitely different though tuning in for the movie. Like once my wife and I could sit down and turn the surround sound up a little bit, and the how they handle all the staging and the camera work and everything, you never feel like you're not on stage with them,
mhm.
and it's done so well, and I think that made it so much more immersive, and we enjoyed it so much more because of how immersive it was and how good the sound was and how good the music was and everything. So I'm glad you got a chance to watch it. There's a lot of highlights. I felt like I texted you this earlier after you said you watched it. Knowing nothing going in, I couldn't get into the soundtrack before. I felt like, oh, the title or song, Alexander Hamilton or Hamilton's, right away. I'm probably not going to enjoy the music as much after the main song. And it honestly just kept getting better or was equally as good throughout the rest of the movie, which
Yeah.
I think was most impressive to me as I was watching through it.
Yeah, I remember you saying before I watched it, like, if you don't watch the whole thing, at least watch Jonathan Groff as King George
Yeah.
do his first song. All three of our kids are still singing his songs. Da, 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 da. Like,
Yeah.
he's so funny as King George. And that's just like such a fun aside from the rest of the storyline.
Yeah.
But yeah, really good. And then I have to tell you, Dylan, for all you listeners who question our recommendations and how good they may or may not be, Dylan's recommendation of Ambient Worlds, I'm hooked on this. And I told Sherry about it, who's a big Potterhead, and she said that your recommendation of Ambient Worlds is the best recommendation she's got of anything in years. It's on our TV now all the time. It's, again, Dylan recommended this YouTube channel, Ambient Worlds. I don't know how the guy gets away with it in terms of licensing, but it is scenes of those worlds: Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, anything in geek culture.
Star Wars.
Yeah. But
Game
if
of
there's
Thrones.
a lit window or a fireplace or a candle, he animates those and puts little flecks of dust or rain or whatever. So the scene isn't really moving. There's just some effects over top with the soundtrack of the movie for 3-hour chunks. So if you want to be in one of the Hufflepuff houses, or if you want to be in Diagon Alley, or if you want to be it's just these beautiful little scenes, and like, it's on our TV all the time now. She's absolutely hooked. We're telling people in our small group, we're like, oh my gosh, you guys have to watch Ambient Worlds. You'd love it. So good one.
You're welcome. Well, so she did text me that, by the way. That she, like, I could tell she liked it because she felt compelled to text me to thank me just for mentioning it to you. And there are some of them, most of them are geek themed worlds. So from movies or video games or some kind of whatever. Some of them are just like, here's a river with like relaxing music for
Sure.
2 hours. But like, I think what is so perfect about it, there's a few things. First of all, how long it is, because some of these things are like 20 minutes and you want something in the background for longer. Second, the music is always perfect to whatever the thing is. And it's also not super dynamic music, because you don't want something that's crazy loud and then crazy soft when you want something on in the background. So on top of the fact that it's just fun themes, he like nails all the little elements. Like, we found ourselves putting on just like the Disney castle, where it's just like Disney music playing in the background and their little street lamps are like flickering, and that's it. And it's just like, it's a nice, like, for our daughter to have on in the background, because she's running around with her Toy Story toys. So yeah, it's good. I'm glad you liked it, and I would definitely recommend it again, even several episodes later after we talked about it. So I'm glad she enjoyed it.
And I just tuned into his channel tonight, and the last round of hurricanes that went through, is it Alabama where he lives?
I think so.
Actually flooded his house. They've lost all their possessions except for like 2 laptops and a family vehicle. So he's not pleading. He's just saying, for those of you that already support me, and want to hear more, here's what's going on. So I think they're doing some Patreon and some GoFundMe things, as well as the Red Cross in that area. So if you're a fan of Ambient Worlds, he could probably use your support right about now if you would feel so inclined.
There you go.
That's all I got in terms of updates.
Well, I wanted to talk about, since Kendall mentioned the Sebastian Maniscalco clip to you, and we think we watched it. I want to talk about, I got us on a very, very important list that I think we need to talk about.
I like being on lists. Tell me more.
It's a tasty list.
Very important, very
Hopefully.
prestigious, very exclusive. It's going to be huge. And so
Anybody could get on, but you didn't, did you?
you didn't. And we're going to talk about it because we're on it. So there's this person who's been on Instagram, and he's local to our market, which is generally Columbus, Ohio area, Greater Columbus. And he's basically selling these essentially like artisan Detroit style pizzas. Is that a good way to describe it, Kendall?
Yes.
Okay. Super nice quality, whatever. So I keep seeing these posts about this guy. And what's funny is you mentioned the Sebastian Maniscalco thing, totally unrelated. I haven't listened to that Sebastian episode. We're describing this to Corey via text, like, and then in person, because we came over the other day. We're sitting in the backyard. And you're like, yeah, there's an episode where like Sebastian like was talking about the same thing. And I don't know if the Columbus guy picked it up from Cali or if it was totally unrelated or what. So this guy's like making these like crazy artisan pizzas out of like rental kitchens and stuff, right? Or like his house, I don't know. And it's so good that there's a list. The only way to get on the list is on Instagram. You got to like message the guy, and then he'll put you on a list to wait. And I had been seeing like 3 to 4 month wait times, like for a long time. And I kept thinking, this is crazy. Like, I don't particularly live close to where this pickup is, but I'm thinking, I really desperately, like, I need good pizza. Not physically. I've had plenty. But I mean, like, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, I need some really good pizza, right? So finally, I'm like, I got to reach out to this guy. So I don't have Instagram. So I just reach out from the middle page. And I said, hey, I don't need to read the whole text, but it's like, hey, get us on your list. We'll wait for good pizza. And turns out, so he's opening an actual brick and mortar shop soon, right, Kendall? Is that what you've seen as well?
Yeah, I've heard that.
So this guy's opening like a brick and mortar shop. So we're on the list. He responds. He's going to put us on the list. And because I reached out from the podcast page, which I asked for no preferential treatment, he says something about he's going to put us on a media list too. So I don't know what that is. But like now we've got to figure out like how many pizzas between the three of us we need to order, because I need at least 2. I don't know what you guys are thinking. At least 2.
And who knows when you're actually going to get them, right?
Yeah, we have no idea.
No idea.
This is fascinating. We have to talk more about this. But first, we would love for you guys to hear from one of our friends in the Odd Pods Media Network. So we're going to take a quick break so you can hear from them. And then we'll be right back to talk all about this hard-to-get pizza.
Hey there, we're BFYTW Podcast. I'm Pantsless Aaron, I'm the host, and we are 3 silly people playing very silly games for fakey points that don't count for anything. Our permanent team captains are a veteran and a podcaster, and a veteran podcaster, it's Stevie.
Hey guys, it's Midnight Smoke here. I love being funny, goofy, and I'm here for your entertainment.
And his permanent opponent, my oldest friend and a gamer and a storyteller, it's Jorge.
Hey guys, Jorge here, HH_Empire, and I am the logical voice to this Maelstrom of Chaos sometimes.
Well, if you like silly people playing silly games, then you want to come hang out with us at BFYTW Podcast every week. That's BFYTWpodcast.com.
And so look, here's the thing. If we could potentially be waiting for months to get special pizza, who knows how many I'll need. Could be 1. Could be 2. Could be 3 or 4, 5 even. We'll have
I'll
to
tell
see.
you what. The longer he waits on getting us up next in his queue, I'm going to see to it the emptier my chest freezer is going to get.
That's right. And I just can't wait. So we've got a plan. We're going to wait till he tells us it's our turn. We're going to put together a big order for our families. We're going to go pick it up. I don't know how far I'm going to have to drive. It doesn't matter at this point. We're on the list. This feels exclusive. And first of all, thank you for sending that episode to Sebastian. Plug that. Which episode was that?
It's episode number 421 of the Pete and Sebastian show, and they tell the story right at the top of the episode. You got to listen to Sebastian talk about I'll give you the high level. Sebastian and his wife Lana have a couple over that have already gone through this extensive process. So this guest is bringing over the pizza that he has been on a waiting list for and is telling Sebastian the whole story when they come to the last piece of pizza. And the guest says to Sebastian, go ahead and take the last piece. And Sebastian goes, no, you want it. And he goes, what? And he goes, you want it. Just take it. Because you wouldn't have even have noticed it was the last piece unless you wanted it.
Unless you were taking inventory. You've been keeping track of how many pieces of pizza there's left.
But also immediately, Sebastian after that evening goes, I gotta get on this list. Yeah. Not because it was so good, but this is like classic supply and demand. We want what we can't have. And if there's some guy making pizzas in his house and you got to go pick him up in his garage because he only makes 16 a night. So this is a whole thing now because these chefs are out of work or people are getting creative in their houses. They're creating these limited run pizza joints out of their living room.
Indeed. And I tell you, like, now that I have that, Sebastian Maniscalco has a way of telling stories.
Oh,
he has a cadence to how he talks. And especially now that we're talking about pizza.
Yeah.
It is going to be impossible for me to not accidentally fall into Sebastian Maniscalco talk.
Isms.
Can you imagine any other thing without supply and demand that you'd be lining up, waiting for months? There's no prices on this. I have no idea. We could order 2 pizzas per family and get a bill for $400. I have no idea what this is going to cost us.
Well, things that come to mind are toilet paper and masks and hand sanitizer.
But like, have you ever gotten on a list to get something that somebody made out of their kitchen and handed you out a window and you waited 4 months for that ever?
No. None of us have.
And
you said like Urban Meyer is on his Instagram getting some pizzas and like local celebrities are on his.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they gotta almost start there to create the pull, right? Like, hey, Urban,
maybe
this pizza. Take a picture with me.
I tell you what, like I don't want to brag on them too much, but like there's a Facebook group called the Pizza Connoisseurs of Columbus that it's a very annoying group. Don't join it if you have feelings. But outside of that, like this group, I feel like legitimately has some pull on what happens in the pizza economy in Columbus. I mean, there's a place on one side of town that like for the past 3, 4, 5 months, is like has just been blowing up the group. It's so polarizing, but there's clearly more people who are all about it, and it's been so popular that like I don't think it's a coincidence that like within the past couple of months, like they announced that they're opening another shop in town. And I've got bad news for them, and that is like I've been in this group long enough to know that tide changes, and like they're the hot ticket right now. But I mean,
the pizza economy.
The pizza economy. Hey, if there's one guy who has his finger on the pulse of the pizza economy, and in Columbus, Ohio, it's this large man sitting in front of you right now.
I have been famously or infamously critical of the pizza scene in Columbus, Ohio, and I'll own it. And if this episode ever makes it to the Pizza Connoisseurs group, they're going to hate me. But I don't care. I'm starving, not literally, clearly not starving, but I'm starving for good pizza. I'm excited. And the thing is, artisanal Detroit style pizza is like the bottom of the list of things I would describe as what I would want out of a good pizza. But I can't pass it up now. There's too much swirling around it, and I'm too excited. And so I hope it's good. I don't want Stouffer's French bread pizza, but that's what's in my head when people say Detroit style. It's like a Stouffer's French bread pizza.
That is so, yeah. Anyway,
So
speaking out of ignorance, my friend. Speaking out of ignorance.
That's fine. And look,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying there are outside of maybe this guy, I'm not aware of any really good Detroit style pizzas in this town. Jets is the only one that comes to mind, and they're technically Detroit style, and they're good. I do like them, but Jets is to Detroit style what Pizza Hut is to hand tossed.
Yeah, my preferences are not going to get in the way of me being willing to admit something is delicious if it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm open to the fact that when you go into marriage and you can't possibly set all the proper expectations for any circumstance or event that could come up over time. And so sometimes you have to adjust your expectations. I'm open to the fact that maybe my expectations are too high for pizza. I don't mean a certain pizza place. I mean all pizza. And so maybe you just don't like pizza. No, I love pizza. This is, who I've turned.
Doesn't sound like you do.
Ratatouille. What's the name of the food critic?
Ego.
Whatever. What's the line? They say something like, it's like, you don't like food. He's like, I don't like food. I love it. And now maybe I'm him now. And that's maybe my life. Like, I don't just like pizza. I love
Anton
it.
Ego.
Anton Ego. Maybe that's why I'm so critical, because my expectations are so high. Now, to be clear, I've said it before, but I'll say it again before everyone thinks that I am a snob. I'll eat anything. We're not talking about what the garbage disposal won't take. We're talking about my preference. So preferences aside, I'm looking forward to whatever this artisanal Detroit style pizza is. And if it's delicious, I will happily say it's delicious. And I'm looking forward to it. That's what I'm saying.
I thought it was a classy move that when you reached out to this guy, you didn't pull the whole, we're a famous podcast, we expect free pizza. You said, hey, we'll pay full price. We're not expecting any favors. We just went on your list. And if we love it, we'll gladly shout it from the rooftops.
Yeah, absolutely. And I made clear that, like, I didn't want the front of the line. Like, we're normal customers. I'm just messaging you because we'd like to be on your list. Let us know. And he was very gracious. And if we don't like it, you'll probably just never hear from us again about it.
Yeah.
And if you do like it, we'll happily talk about it and give the guy a nod for putting together apparently a delicious pizza.
Yeah. And that's the thing about this place. Like, his model is set up so that, like, I don't know that there's been any return customers, right? Because you'd have to wait 4 months in between orders. And so, like, if you love it, you can't really go back. You can. It's just going to be a while.
Yeah.
And you have to join the list all over again. And so there's a part of me that's like, so, I mean, it could, with that model, it could absolutely suck.
Mm-hmm.
Could absolutely suck.
But that's not what I'm seeing.
But the thing is, with the Pizza Connoisseurs group, like, I've not heard a negative thing about the guy other than people like, you're working out of your own kitchen. I wonder what the health department would think about that. And
yeah, I've never had to wait more than 45 minutes for a good pizza. I'm going to go to my local shop. Okay, fine. All right. Yeah, clearly not for you. I get it.
Yeah.
That's where we are. And I'm excited. I'm excited to try it. We're going to put together a huge order for all three of us because we're all in. I figured if you guys weren't, I was still going to go. We're going to put together a huge order. We'll go pick it up, and we'll try to eat it right away while it's hot.
You guys bring them all back to my place. You can help me close the pool.
Well, no, that's going to be too long. We've got to figure out how to meet. We can't drive 25 minutes from wherever this is to
True.
your house
True.
to wait and it gets cold and gross. We
Oh.
got to go there.
Yeah.
We got to go there and we got to find a place we can sit outside.
You got to have a parking lot piece.
Yeah.
Or in this case, a driveway piece.
Yeah. We're going to have to meet.
Okay.
So,
I'm in.
it is what it is. So, yeah. That was a great episode of Sebastian, and it was so weird that it was like mimicking our life real time as I'm listening to it going, I literally just got on the list as I'm hearing. It's wild.
Yeah.
So good. That's what I got.
Pizza. So I'm a guy who prides myself on being able to beat the system.
Okay.
And we've probably talked about it before, but I feel like I've always felt like in the iPhone world, or in the phone world, there's a unique situation there where the industry has developed in the minds of its customers the idea that we expect you to want to replace a perfectly good handheld computer every 2 years, not because it's broken, not because there's anything wrong with it, but simply because we came out with a new one. And I've hated that about the industry for a long time. And so I had my iOS, my iPhone 6 Plus. I want to say 6 Plus for like 4 years. And just like, I owned it outright. Like I wasn't paying anything except for the plan. And every day was another feather in my cap. And the screen went all to heck on the thing.
Son of a gun.
I don't know how it happened. I recall like it was happening. It happened in the morning while I was setting things up at the church on Sunday morning. It was in my pocket. It was fine at one point when I checked it, put it in my pocket. I don't remember bumping into anything. Pulled it out of my pocket to check it later that morning, and it was shattered. And I think that Apple has a program that they have there's a little kill nail on the inside of the phone that after 4 years or so just goes boop. That's what I think happened. So
it wouldn't be something normal like a battery that could go that is going to go over time. You think there's specifically
I think, yeah, I do.
In the device.
I do think. And I know that I could have replaced the screen and that kind of thing. And when it comes down, because the phone otherwise worked fine. It charged fine. I had to charge it several times a day instead of really just once like I had once been able to. But it wasn't annoying. Everything on it worked. It was still fast. And I kept her clean and pristine.
Did you regularly?
It was the best damn phone that I ever seen. Huh?
Did you regularly get your phone hole cleaned?
I did that myself with a paper clip.
Okay, yeah, I heard you need to do that.
Yeah.
I always looked at those folks that upgraded yearly like the same as the people who lease a new car every year. A phone year is just like 5 to 10 human years or car year. So it's like there's just that person that wants the new lease every year. That's fine. That's who does that. They trade in, they upgrade. Most people are I'm going to keep the car for 10 or 15 years. That's like 2 or 3 phone years. And then every now and then there's somebody that's like, no, not till I hit 350,000 miles and not till the suspension goes out for the 6th time am I going to actually replace this.
Indeed.
And that's just like having a phone for 4 to 5 years. It's those people.
And so anyway, I'm really sad. I'm still kind of perturbed about it, mainly because I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. And that's what upsets me the most.
I think that's the 4-year kill nail that you mentioned earlier.
That's what I figure. It's what it probably was.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that tiny internal electronics that have been thrown around and dropped dozens of times over 4 to 5 years, finally gave out. I'm sure that's not it. I'm sure it was a tiny kill switch on the
It was a
inside.
tiny school trip.
Or pocket.
Again, it worked fine. It just had a screwed up screen, and I had the Alpha Glass like on top of it, so I could still use it. I ordered one, and that took a while to get here because it was in the middle of COVID. But I still used it every day.
Yeah.
Up until I got the new one. So the electronics were all still perfectly fine, with the exception of the glass.
All right. Well, there
So
it is.
Apple makes good products, but they put little time release nails on the insides of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and now I have a new iPhone that I have a good relationship with.
Good.
But it's not the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like I lost that part of my identity.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the guy with the new phone
Mm.
who's back in the system.
How does it feel? Do you feel gross?
I do.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway,
All right. Well,
so
R.I.P.
what kinds of gross things do you guys feel?
We're gonna save that for episode 70 from the middle
No.
pod.
More fitting for this one, I think.
Bingo.
Well, this has been another one, and we love hanging out with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in this week to From the Middle. There's a whole lot of stuff we want to tell you. You're important to us, and we want you to reach out to us on the socials at From the Mid Pod everywhere. Send us an email at fromthemiddle@protonmail.com if you prefer that. Or we would love to hear your voice. And if you'd like to weigh in on supply and demand, would you put your name on a list and go to downtown LA or your nearest city and get 8 slices of a Detroit-style pizza from some guy's house? Let us know by sending us a voice message. The links for that are on our main landing page, anchor.fm/from the middle or mid pod, I forget.
From the mid pod.
From the mid pod at the Anchor. And there's a link there, and you can just send us a 60-second or less voice message. We would love to hear from you and perhaps use that on a future recording. Also, if you're into men's grooming or men's hygiene or have a beard or don't have a beard, one of our affiliates, Artius Man, that's ARTIUSMAN, artiusman.com. If you use the promo code The Middle, you get 25% off your first order. So great time to get yourself a Woodwick soy blend candle or men's grooming stuff for stocking stuffers or Christmas. If you support them, we get a little kickback. It's win-win-win. And anything else, fellas, until next week?
Did you see, I don't know if it's on the website yet. Don't hold me to this. Did you see our friend at Artius Man posted a brown leather travel bag?
Yeah, the new
with
travel
the
bag.
logo.
Yeah. Got a nice looking leather dot bag there on his website. You
Super
can do
slick.
that. You can order the t-shirts. Order
So
a hat that looks kind of like this one, but not exactly like this one.
swanky.
This was
So,
exclusive that
All
only
those
Dylan
people
and I
that
have.
also need holiday gifts, keep Artius Man in mind for the men in your life.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for tuning in. We would love to hear your thoughts. If you know how to close a pool properly, give me a call. Help me out. I need some help cleaning it and closing it. Anyway, have a wonderful week. We love you. Be nice to each other. Bye. 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 Bye.